Hi, I'm the Rap Critic, and this was a request by Anthony Rinker. And if you'd like to request a song for me to review, or if you like my stuff and want to support my show, go to patreon.com/rapcritic, where you can request songs, see episodes early, and talk with me and fellow fans on my Patreon Discord. Plus, if you want to hear my analysis of films, there's my new movie podcast, Reviewing New, that you can check out on Spotify and Apple Music. We're starting off by reviewing Kevin Smith movies, but we're going to be expanding into different filmmakers once we're done. So if you want to send us movie requests, it's a one-time donation to that Ko-fi, or you can give ongoing support over at my Reviewing New Patreon. I'll leave links in the description. So, let's talk about nu metal. As a hybrid of heavy metal and rap, I always remember it having an immediately assumed negative connotation to it. To put it bluntly, nu metal sucks was a very normative take to have by the early 2000s. Whatever Rage Against the Machine had started with their aggressive fusion of genres to soundtrack the harrowing lyrics of Zach De La Rocha had been sullied by the cheesy likes of Limp Bizkit, Korn, and Alien Ant Farm. I mean, for God's sakes, did you see how those clowns disrespected that classic Michael Jackson song? How dare they? But I don't know, I always thought that cover had a bit of charm to it. In fact, barring their penchant for weird, immature, and overly angsty lyrics at times, I actually gravitated towards nu metal and their ideas of expanding what hip-hop could be by incorporating this new heavier edge. However, the prevailing perception seemed to be that rock fans hated it because there was too much rapping in it, while hip-hop fans hated it because a lot of them very clearly couldn't. Horrible. Just horrible. But when Linkin Park came on the scene, I remember there being a bit of a sea change in how it was automatically perceived. Because when Hybrid Theory became the fastest selling debut album of the 21st century, with Crawling and In the End being inescapable songs of the year, it showcased how a couple of super creative talents at the helm could transform the nu metal genre into an epic soundscape, with Chester Benningfield's nimble ability to cross between tuneful calm melodies and piercing screamo vocals, complemented by Mike Shinoda's contrasting deeper voice and emotionally engaging songwriting. So for my money, I'm on board. Give us more of this hip-hop hybrid which challenges the norms of what music can be. But then I heard their collaboration album with Jay-Z and I really didn't like it. And this is where I, as a rap critic, come in, because for someone in the rap world as big as Jay-Z reaching across the aisle to such a different, challenging genre as these guys, this act was a big deal on principle alone. But I gotta say, I never felt like the end product of what they collabed on was actually that great. The Numb Encore collab always came off as an unfinished mess, mainly because they very clearly weren't talking about the same things.
Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface.
Feelings of self-doubt and struggling with identity and one's place in the world, eh? Deep philosophical stuff. And Jay-Z, what are you talking about again?
When I come back like Jordan, we in the 4-5. It ain't to play games with you, it's to aim at you, probably maim you. If I owe you, I'm blowing you to smithereens. Cocksucker, take one for your team.
Oh, shooting people. Okay. So to me, this project ultimately felt like a letdown. They obviously just grafted Jay-Z's swagger and cool attitude onto Linkin Park's brooding production without trying to match the theme or tone at all, and it just doesn't fit. So while at first I thought it was cool that Mike Shinoda, a relative outsider of hip-hop, was creating his own lane in the genre to incorporate the art of hip-hop while still being authentic with their sound and subject matter, the Jay-Z collab just felt gimmicky, like a misunderstanding of what made Linkin Park so fascinating and unique in the first place. But a couple of years later, I remember a friend really urging me to check out this side project by Shinoda called Fort Minor, a project where he was able to do more straight up hip hop, and everything I'd heard off of it sounded pretty damn good. In fact, as time went on, I kept noticing that people I knew who weren't really that much into hip hop still had an affinity for this Rising Tide album. It's been quite surprising how many people over the years have specifically told me Remember the Name was their entry into seeing hip hop as something more than the average choices that mainstream rap had to offer at the time. And I find it kind of funny how, even though Where'd You Go was the bigger hit from this album, it's this song that's been standing the test of time. The most obvious reason being its mainstay on countless workout playlists. I mean, where else do you need to hear music that constantly reassures how great you are? Chances are, if you're playing this song, you're in a place where you have to give it your all, to endure through suffering and triumph through the force of the human spirit. Or if you were like me, you were just playing it while crushing your friends at Super Smash Bros. In a college dorm room, which, you know, was something like a workout. My thumbs used to hurt all the time anyway. That probably wasn't a good sign. Well, anyways, like I was saying, it's about hyping yourself up to be able to muscle through the hardships in your life, as you hear the rappers themselves relating their hard work and successes. And the hook here is absolutely perfect in how it lays out the rate at which certain factors affect your progress.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will.
I love that he specifically mentions luck first. Because honestly, as much as so many artists struggle and as much as that perseverance may help build character, the key to most people's success is who they knew and being in the right place at the right time. In a way, the hook is about tempering your expectations within the industry, as if to say, yeah, no doubt, you should put in the time and discipline needed to be the best you can be as a human being. But you know, nepotism, it's It's a thing that happens.
He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat or the mic.
Yeah, your boy Mike Shinoda just wants to finally be in a position where he can get his voice heard. I mean, at this point, he'd already sold over 60 million records with Linkin Park, but just don't think about that.
Making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Talk's picking it up. Let's go.
Wait, Tack? Who's...
Who the hell is he anyway?
Well... talk about beating you to the punch. But okay, this is Styles of Beyond, an underground rap collective Mike Shinoda was kicking it with for a while, consisting of rappers Ryu and Tak. Two rappers whose personalities are so distinct, I definitely knew that there was more than two people on the song for the last 10 years.
Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the Crystal Method, name of the game.
Wait, Crystal Method? Is he referencing what I think he's referencing? Whoa, there's another group the rappers in the song are affiliated with? Jeez. Okay, well, we don't have time to dip into another band in subgenre. But suffice to say, this is Name of the Game. And if you existed in the early 2000s and had functioning ears, you heard this song. You know, the song that very clearly should have been called Callin' All Freaks, because, I mean, that was the one part they played in all the ads. It was in so many trailers and commercials. And, you know, somehow I don't think I ever remember hearing a full rap verse on it. How does it go?
Yo, top of the crown, raise the queen.
Well, anyways, let's get back to the Fort Minor song. Okay, so there's other rappers on this joint. Let's hear about their personal recipes for success.
It's 20% skill, 80% beer.
Okay, well, not the typical way to go about achieving success, but you know, if you're fucking drunken master over here, have at it. But for real though, I do like that there are key lyrics of the song that succinctly take you through the mind of someone struggling to pave their own way in life.
Put it together himself, got a picture connects. Never asking for someone's help, or to get some respect. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps.
I will admit though, there's a whiff of pretentiousness that pops up every now and then.
He's only focused on what he wrote, his will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds, the skill of an artist.
I mean, for God's sakes, he pronounced it artiste. You can almost hear the sound of him scoffing at plebeians while sipping his vintage oolong tea with his pinky out. Overall though, I give the song a 4 out of 5. I think the determination and sense of brotherhood ultimately shines through on the track, especially how that resilience and scrappy underdog feel is enhanced by the insistent cello line and driving thump of the drum beat. And I'd say if you haven't heard it yet, check out some more of that Rising Tide album. My personal favorite tracks are Cigarettes, the song he did about comparing the rap game to the tobacco industry, and Kenji, a harrowing track about Mike Shinoda's grandfather and his family being forced into internment camps by the American government due to the xenophobia surrounding World War II. So, you know, just in case you wanted to remind yourself how much America hasn't changed. But that's the episode. Leave a like if you like because it helps, comment if you have something to say because it helps even more, and hit the subscribe button and the bell because it helps the most. And if you want to hear more music I'm into, check out my radio show on Station Head, where we play all the dope hip-hop mainstream radio won't from any time period and any time zone, with new hip-hop Thursdays every week around 7:30. And for your convenience, I'll leave all those links down in the description and whatnot. So check all that fun stuff out, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.